All right, we're on episode, what number? 48.
48, yes.
48
Yeah.
of our Run Club, the podcast.
Mm-hmm. The podcast.
It's the podcast. Today we're going to talk about running culture.
Nice.
Which I thought would be kind of an interesting topic.
It's a very interesting
Runners are very unique.
They are very unique. There are certain qualities that you can see in pretty much every single runner, you know what I mean? There are just certain things about them.
Oh yeah, totally. Before we get into that though.
Yes.
How's your week been, man?
Good. I'm having a good week. The running's been fine. I've been a little bit out of sorts. Tired.
Yeah.
I'm having one of those weeks where I'm just tired and just having trouble focusing. I don't know. Maybe I have too many things going on, and I'm not stressed or anything like that.
Just like a lot happening.
Just a lot happening, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? Everything seems to be moving a mile a minute, and I can't seem to keep up, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there, man.
Yeah, but it's great. The week has been fine. Everything's been good. The fam's doing real well.
Nice.
And the running's going well, and had a good group run experience last night. It was fun, good vibe, and so yeah.
Awesome. And you've been able to get some running in?
Absolutely.
Nice.
You know? Yeah.
That's exciting.
I'm not winning any medals or anything like that, but I'm getting it in.
Wow, why not?
Staying fit.
Why not? You got to race, I guess, to win medals.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So.
But hey, you know.
How about you? What?
Yeah, it's been all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been able to get a few miles in here and there. I haven't really... Wednesday and Thursday, I think, are a rough back-to-back day for me.
Yeah.
So I have a tough time. It's like one of those deals where if I don't get out in the morning, typically I don't get it done.
Yeah.
And I had a real tough time getting up Wednesday and Thursday.
It's really hard to get up. It's really, really hard to get up early in the morning.
It is. And then sometimes I'm up and I'm like,
You don't want
I
to
don't want to go running.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this morning was one of those mornings. I was up at 5. It was kind of rainy out.
Mm.
And I didn't run, man.
Okay. That happens.
I'm not going to make any excuses.
No excuses. Just,
No excuses.
I
I just didn't feel like
get out
it.
there next time.
Next time.
Do it.
I'll go.
Maybe you find a little opportunity to sneak one in today. You never know.
Hey, maybe.
You look for opportunities.
Right.
Like I always have my bag with me with running stuff. So
Just in case.
Just in case?
Yep, my bag is loaded. It's got outfit for the right temperature we got.
Mm-hmm.
Got some kicks in there to run in.
Yes.
That's
Got it all. Everything you need.
My just in case bag.
You have some Body Glide, just in case?
No.
Okay.
But I did bring deodorant.
Well, that's what you definitely need that.
You do need
You
that.
could actually use that. Well, no, it might not be good to use as a Body Glide.
In certain areas it might.
It might burn or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
We wouldn't want that.
anyway, it's good to have that though. I always keep a thing of Old Spice in mine.
Oh, see, I have Brute.
Brute, yeah. That's
Classic.
great stuff. Classic, man. 2 classics right there. Old Spice and Brute.
Right.
You know?
Brute comes in. It's like a small, compact, like circular deodorant.
Yes.
So it was
Yes.
nice for my
I like that.
bag,
That's
you know?
classic. Yeah. That's if your granddad didn't wear it, you wouldn't be here.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
right. Brute. That should be their slogan.
It's one of their. I probably did something wrong there. There's probably some kind of copyright violation there or something.
Oh, that's
I
true.
think it is one of theirs. I think it might be Old Spice's.
That's funny.
So I'd be using it for Brute. I'm using it for both of those. I'm sorry. Gosh, we're probably gonna get into trouble here.
That's all right.
No, we're not gonna get into
We'll
trouble.
just get a cease and desist.
Right.
That's fine.
So anyway, so we're gonna talk about this thing about culture.
Right. So
All right.
what is culture, Ray?
Oh gosh,
How do you define it?
you put me on a spot there. We're not talking like a yogurt culture or anything like that. No,
No, not a yogurt
We're not
culture.
talking about like high culture, like a societal culture. What makes a society click or tick. We're not talking about. We talk about art. We talk about language. We talk
It's
about
like
food.
shared traditions amongst a group of people.
Okay, shared traditions. Amongst a group of people.
Yep.
Okay. In this case, we're talking about the running community. So we're
Right.
narrowing it down. Good.
Yep.
We're delving into this.
We're going to delve in.
Okay.
And there might be some sweeping generalizations that happen during this.
Yes. Might be.
And just know that that's not what we intend. There's certain things that apply to a lot of runners,
Yes.
but not every runner.
Okay.
You know, everybody's different. We're all we're all snowflakes, man.
We are snowflakes. We're all individuals. We're all different. But there are commonalities among runners.
Yes.
Okay, we're not sociologists, so there's a little disclaimer there, right?
Right.
So, But I think that we can probably, because we're runners, we've been runners for a very long time, we know a lot of runners, we could probably talk about this. Just like two runners just shooting the breeze. Chit-chatting about running culture. Okay.
Yes.
So maybe, are we going to talk about things that we think are part of the running culture?
Yes. So if we were to look at runners as a whole, maybe some of those characteristics or traits that you would have recognized amongst most of your running brethren,
Right.
One in particular that I noticed is that runners really like to talk about running.
Yes. They're very enthusiastic about
Love it.
the sport or the activity of running, right?
Yes.
They do. And they want to share their stories about running.
Yes, absolutely. It's something that I've noticed being like the marketing manager of a run specialty shop.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in the marketing manager of our podcast.
Yes.
You see it not only like in your interactions with people IRL, that's short for in real life.
Good. I'm glad you cleared it up for me because I was wondering. What does it mean?
Why are we going
Ireland? Okay.
in real life. So your interactions in real life, you notice it, like people want to tell you like how the training's going. We do it every time we start a podcast.
Yes.
We talk about what our training's been like this week. But you also notice it on social media. There's whole Instagram accounts that are just dedicated to a runner's journey to their next half marathon.
Yeah.
So like that whole account, that's the only thing they're doing is sharing their experiences.
Yeah.
And runners love that.
Runners want to share their experiences.
I think also runners want to listen to other people's experiences because we've all gone through it.
Right.
Or if we haven't gone through it, we want to know that someone else has.
Right.
Like it's a community of people they just really like to talk about the thing they do.
I find the community plays into it. I think a huge part of the running culture is community.
Yes.
Coming together, the communal experience. People like to come together, right? People like to go on group runs. They want to train together. They want to go to the races. They want to talk about things. It's that communal thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And share their experiences with each other. That's something that I think a lot of runners really, they love doing it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found in just a story that I think I relayed to you yesterday, but I feel like even as a runner, like people know I'm a runner, so they want to talk to me about running, even if they're not a runner.
Okay.
One of the things that is frustrating for me is I am a runner, but I also do other things.
Okay.
Running
defines you, right? Or part of you.
Part of me.
But there are other
There's
things
other
about
things
you.
I like to do. I'm a sports fan. I like watching the Celtics play. I like the Patriots. I enjoy long walks on the beach. I'm a dad. There's a lot of other things I like to do.
You're multidimensional.
Right.
Okay.
But when I get into a group of people who are not runners per se, all they ask me, what are you training for? How many miles do you run a week?
Yeah. How fast can you run
How fast can you run a mile?
Are you one of those crazy
have you
runners?
Run a 5K?
Yeah.
How fast have you run a 5K? What's it like running 10 miles?
Do you ever get bored doing that?
I can't even drive that far.
Right. I've heard that a lot, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, I'm just like, all right.
I don't get it. I'm not, I don't get it, that kind of thing sometimes.
Right. What's the runner's
family
high
members.
like?
You get high all the time when you run? That kind of stuff.
Right.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, I get it, but maybe it's because that's part of the culture, like that sharing culture. People who aren't runners think they want to get in. They want to know what it's like, which is cool. I'm happy to share, but I like other stuff. We can talk about other things.
Right.
Right.
Cool.
So any other overarching commonalities amongst your running brethren that you noticed?
I mean, I just find that people are very accommodating. They're very generous. They want to share.
Mm-hmm.
They want to help out there. There is definitely sometimes a competitiveness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Underlying competitiveness. But I think generally people are kind, generous. They want to help.
Yes.
They're very friendly. You know, you never really see people getting angry with each other about. I never hear people in group runs getting angry with each other or in group. Yeah, you know, everyone's just very, very friendly and peaceful and kind, I guess, and caring. I find that.
Yeah, I agree. I think too, a lot of the events for running revolve around charity.
Yeah,
and
very charitable. There's that, you know, the whole idea of wanting to give and help and, you know, help the community, and so there's that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, there's a lot of giving, a lot of generosity, a lot of welcoming faces in the running. Like running culture is just very welcoming overall.
I think so.
I think because it's a sport that anybody can really do.
Yeah.
So like, you know, even if you've never run before, you can, if you're physically able to, you can train for a 5K. You can train for a half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
If you put in the work, usually you get the results. And so I think that because everybody who runs knows how crummy it is to start.
Yeah. Yep.
They're really a welcoming group.
Yeah.
Because they've all been there.
Yep. They have all been there. And I just find there's that whole idea of come on into community, welcoming into the community, and wanting to help people who haven't done it before, or just getting going, or just getting back into it, or recovering from an injury. You know, it's like you see a lot of friendly folks, friendly faces, a lot of encouragement.
And I think
keep doing it.
I think it goes back to that sharing culture.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the folks who have, been there before, so they are open to sharing their experience with that new runner and kind of talking about themselves and what they went through.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's super helpful for anybody who is kind of coming into the running culture, because it allows them to be a little bit more open. I think when people first start running, they get really closed off. They think like everybody's going to be looking at me, they're going to judge me, they're going to think I'm really slow, they're going to think this, I'm going to be the last person, and everybody's going to think I'm slow and I'm not into this. And what I think a lot of new runners forget to realize is that everybody was there.
Has been there.
You know?
Right.
Some of us, like myself, I mean, I was there when I was like 12 or 13 when I first started, and it was awful and terrible, and I had to work through it. And some people are 45 when they first start running, and they have to go through that at that age. So I think it's just like a cool culture in that, like, really you can start at any age, and people are going to be open to kind of letting you in.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a place for everyone, right, in the community.
Exactly.
Everyone can fit in and kind of work their way in and find support.
Right. You need a little support, I think.
I think you do.
Especially when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. If you're first starting out, or if you've been out for a long time, coming back from an injury, a long layoff from running. So, yeah.
Totally.
So it's good to be with people and know that other people have been there and kind of get ideas from them and encouragement. And so, yeah.
So we've got a culture that likes to talk about itself.
Yes.
We've got a culture that's very welcoming.
Yes.
Very friendly.
Very friendly.
Helpful.
Helpful, supportive.
Supportive.
Yeah. Those are all good things.
I agree.
I mean, it's nice. Those are all really nice things, you know?
Yeah. Why would you not want to be a part of that culture, you know? Right?
Yeah.
Now, when you dive into the running culture and you've been doing it for like a year or two, you might discover some of these little subcultures of the running community.
Okay.
And I think what we should do is maybe take a little break.
We're going to take a break, and then maybe we'll talk about some subcultures within the running community, right?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
All right.
Make no mistake about it. We are back.
We have come back. And we're here talking about culture. Yogurt. Yogurt cultures.
I love me some yogurt.
You do love yogurt. As long as you bring enough for everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm fine with it.
We're going to bring enough for everybody next time around. Don't come with just stuff from me.
So we're talking running culture.
Running culture, yes.
Shared traditions and traits of the
Qualities,
running
characteristics that we find within the running community. Yeah.
Yeah, and now what we would like to do is dive into these little subcultures.
Okay.
You know as well as I that when you have a group of people, they tend to kind of get into like little cliques.
Little
things,
cliques. I was
you
thinking
know?
that. Cliques.
Yeah. Like little cliques. Not like high school cliques that are kind of snippy with each other. I feel like because the running community is very welcoming and friendly overall,
Right.
I feel like there's a general respect. If you're in, say, one running club or running group, you have a general overarching respect for another running group.
Yes.
No matter their speed, pace, interests, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a general, like, okay, these people understand what I'm going through on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I have just a general respect for them. I might not be interested in what they're interested in, but overall, I respect them.
Right.
There's a respect.
Okay. So if we're talking like within the running community, you've got, as a whole, you've got your runners. And then say at a given area, geographic area, say for instance our area, there are different groups,
Right.
different clubs.
Bingo.
And when you go from club to club, there are different cultures,
Yes.
right? You know, you might have one club that maybe just focuses in on running and beer drinking, right?
That's my kind of
Pub
club.
runners, right? You know, people who maybe even some clubs who meet at a pub. I know of this.
Yes.
Weekly or a couple of times bi-weekly, you meet at a club and or pub,
Or a
go for a
club.
run, or and then afterwards you're gonna be drinking beer afterward, and that's kind of the focus. And people don't get too worked up about maybe competition, or maybe they do. There
Right.
might be a pub series of races, and so there's that.
Yes.
There might be a track club. Maybe their focus is working on track events, right? So
Right.
they're not necessarily it's different than road racing, right?
Yes.
So there might be that.
Yep.
There might be a group that is really focused in on being highly competitive,
Mm-hmm.
right? What else? I mean, there might be some other groups.
There's a
out there,
bunch
too.
of other groups,
Yeah.
man. I think that there's some groups that, like you said, are super competitive and some that aren't.
Aren't you right?
I think, you got some focus around beer. Maybe you have like a running club that goes out and gets pastries after their run.
Could be. You're right. Exactly.
You know?
Yep. Maybe there's maybe there's no aspect of like beer drinking or wine drinking. So they go out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's focused in around running and then eating. Right.
Exactly.
Running and foodies. Maybe.
Running and foodies.
The foodie run club.
There's a foodie run club.
There are some clubs that really focus in on charitable
yes.
organizations, and so there's that, and there's competition involved, maybe not, but it's all about running and
Right.
raising money.
And so, like, a portion of their dues maybe goes to this charity, or
Right.
they use that group of people to help raise funds for a cause. So they'll have
That's
a
great.
club of a couple hundred people, and then when this charity needs something, then those folks can donate or help out, which is really cool.
It's great.
But that's a culture, it's a giving, charitable culture.
Mhm.
Just like the beer drinkers have their beer culture.
Yep.
Some running clubs have, like you said, a little bit more of a focus on competition.
Yeah.
So you'll have like practices. You'll have legit like track workouts. You'll have tempo runs together. You'll have like a race series maybe that your group is interested in,
Right.
which is pretty fun if you're like into the like competitive like racing
Yeah.
spirit.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And what I like to see is the different flavors with these different groups.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of in the middle of the hub of our running community, so we get to see all of these groups, and it's neat to see this, like, the different, culture or feel or vibe or flavor of each of those groups.
Yeah.
It's really neat, and I like to go to events or races or group runs, events that are where all these groups come together.
Oh, yeah.
Because
So
it's
fun.
neat.
Yeah.
It's like a big melting pot of all these groups coming in,
Exactly.
and it's everyone has their own
You know,
little
it's more
group.
like a salad.
It's more like I like that, a salad. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, because everybody comes together. It all
Yeah.
tastes delicious.
Yes.
But they all have their own different flavors.
Yes, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Running salad.
It's a running salad.
It's a new concept that we just came up with,
Right.
running salad.
The running
But it's
salad.
true. It's fun, and everyone comes together. And when they do,
Hmm.
there's this nice vibe.
It is. It's
I
a
think.
good vibe. A
You know,
nice local
No one's
race.
ever right. No one's ever ticked off at each other.
No.
One's bad mouthing or trashing the other group. There's might be a little. If it's a race, there might be a little bit of I mean, there's
Like a
definitely
little
some,
smack talk.
yeah, a little bit of competitiveness, but that's okay. And in the end, everyone's having a great time. You always see people enjoying themselves, right?
Right, exactly. There's never any like fist fights that break
No.
out, you know?
I've never seen that.
It's not like a Little League game.
That's not like exactly. Little League games can be vicious. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah, they can.
Oh my lord.
But no, it's a good
But they're
time.
fun.
And I like seeing like, say like the old school, like running club that's been around for like 100 years,
Yes.
and you got like the like older crew that ran in like the 1960s, and they
Mhm.
like used to win all these
Oh.
races.
It's fun.
And then you have like the young kids who are just out of college who maybe started their own little track club, like that's got like 5 or 6 of them, and they're all like real fast, and they're like trying to break the records of the old folks.
Yeah. It's cool.
And you see them like, shaking their fists at the young whippersnappers.
That's right.
Like, back in my day,
Yeah.
there was only 5 other people at this race. Now there's 5,000. It's crazy.
It's fun.
Yeah, and it's cool to
I
see.
love to go to it's great at the after parties at races or the spreads afterward.
Mhm.
Go to local races with a lot of folks, and I love to go and talk to some of the folks who've been around for a while.
Yeah.
Some of the old timers and talk to them. And
They kind of have seen the evolution of all
Yeah.
these different running clubs. They've probably seen running clubs come and go.
share stories.
You know?
Mhm.
Yeah, share
You
stories
know?
of the old days.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and what I think is cool is you might have a group. What's interesting is I compare it to a track meet back when I was in high school or college. It's completely different.
Mm.
In high school, college, you have your tent. You just mingle with your crew,
Yeah.
and you're racing against other people, and you don't really interact.
Mm.
But at a 5K road race, you might have your team tent, but you're mingling.
Yeah.
You're walking around, you're
Mhm.
talking to other people, you're seeing how their training's going, you're maybe chatting about the course, trying to figure out, what strategy you should deploy, that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think it's pretty neat.
It's sort of like like a festival. It's like a carnival or festival atmosphere. It's
Right.
fun, and I like that. I like that. It gets me excited. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
And it is cool to see those different kind of cultures come together, because you'll have a crew that maybe is really into drinking, and they've brought their tailgating
Yes. After
after the race.
Hopefully not before, but
I guess I should give a shout out to the Hydration Boys,
okay.
who's a local. They're not even a club, right? So it's just a bunch of people from different clubs
Yeah.
that like to just drink beers after.
That's cool too.
And so they get hydrated after the run.
Yeah.
And so it's just cool to see, those guys hanging out with those other folks who maybe aren't drinking, but they're talking about running and they're having a good time.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to see them all come together.
Yeah. I think it's fun. It's exciting.
Do you have a sub clique that you like to hang out with specifically, or you I feel when I was in high school, I didn't really have a clique. I kind of mingled amongst different cliques.
I always felt that I was kind of like that too.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but just someone who's not necessarily. I don't want to use the word neutral, but sort of But I like to move from group to group, and I think I was like that too when I was even in high school.
Yeah.
When you're talking non-running.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be kind of in between cliques, and kind of try to get along with everyone.
Right.
I seemed to be
Me too,
that
man.
figure who moved seamlessly. Well, I was never really into the druggy clique in high school.
No.
We call them rafties.
The rafties.
Or heads, but I was never really. But I knew some of those folks, and so I kind of got along with everyone, really.
Right.
But
right.
I was never really technically part of that, but knew people. So I felt in the running community, that was in high school, and in the running community, I feel like I kind of mingle with everyone.
Do the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my specific club,
Mm-hmm.
or team club, but I still feel like I know people from a lot of different clubs and get along
Right.
with everyone. And so,
Yeah, I think I'm kind of the same way.
Kinda flow.
Like, yeah, in high school it was the same thing. I had like a couple of friends that were like a kind of a core group, but would always be able to just like float, you know.
We're diplomats, man.
We're
We are
diplomats,
diplomats
you know?
or
That's-
ambassadors.
Right, we chat. We're
Yeah.
chatty.
You know what I find too, because we talked about teams and
Mhm.
clubs and groups, but I also find that there are subcultures when you're talking about different types of running, because running is very diverse. It's
That's
not
true.
people think running is sort of trudging along. They see that person running on. Non-runners will see a person running on the street, and well, what's that crazy person doing? I see that guy every day in all his conditions,
Yep.
running, or that lady running in every condition. And there's more to it than that. There are different distances, different activities. We kind of talked a little bit about, delved into road racers and track racers, but there really are people who run on the road, people who run track, different distances. There are ultra runners, right?
Trail runners,
runners, mountain runners,
Yep.
Marathoners.
Yes. I feel like some of those those different distances have their own culture.
Yes,
So like those
they do.
ultra runners are like a whole different breed
Yes.
than your 5K runner.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
Like my experience of having all these different clubs come into this like race is just built around like the 5K, the 10 miler, maybe a half marathon, but that like kind of marathon, ultra marathon thing,
Yeah.
whole different world.
It is. It is. And I dig it though. It's cool.
Another group,
I love to talk
it's
to
another
those people.
group that is like really tight knit
Tight knit,
and like very welcoming.
welcoming. Yeah.
And super supportive of not only each other but any like newcomers who come into
Newcomer,
that.
if you want to come in,
field.
and they'll allow you into that culture.
And they'll
it's not a hard
school
culture to
you
get
on it,
into.
too.
Exactly.
They'll let you know like, okay, you've done a marathon, but 50 miles, a whole different ball game.
Yep.
So you're gonna need to eat a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
You're
know.
gonna need to
I
really
don't
focus
know- I
more.
don't know
You gotta-
exactly. I've
Hydration
never done
becomes
it.
hugely
Yep.
important. I mean, it is always hugely important, but it take it to a different level.
Right.
Um,
Tell you how to fuel, when to fuel,
Yeah.
like different how to build like a support team for yourself. I just think it's
you do have to have a support team.
You do.
I mean, they're very supportive too. People who are
Right.
willing to accrue and help you out and run with you to cover miles. And there's always a talk about time on your feet.
Yeah.
That's very common. You hear that language, and it's cool. It's fascinating stuff.
It is, yeah. It's
You
like
know?
a whole different world, but it's another culture or subculture of the running
Yes.
universe,
Mhm.
which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like it's just so completely different from like your 5K guy
Yeah.
who trains for a 5K.
Mhm.
You know.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think
Yeah.
that, like, do you think that if you went to, like, say we're from the United States, we're from the Northeast, we're from New England, we're really narrowing it down here,
Yeah.
and we've got our culture. What do you think if you went to, like, say, Japan or Finland or, different, like, Egypt, Australia, anywhere, do you think you find that running culture runners would have a lot of similarities?
Yes,
Yeah?
I do.
I think so, too.
I think so.
It's kind of neat to think of.
Yeah, I read that book that you gave me about that. Is he American or is he?
He's a British.
British,
He's
yeah.
a British
so he's
gentleman.
British, but he traveled to Japan to train with
Yes.
the Japanese runners, and they were very welcoming and
Yeah.
super helpful, and
Yeah.
like helped accommodate his journey through their culture,
Yeah.
which I thought was like typical runner. You
Mhm.
know, like always willing to kind of go out of your way to help other people,
Yeah.
and just being on social media, I can see things in other countries that remind me of things that happen here. Like in the UK, this thing called park runs are huge. They call them park runs.
Yeah.
And there's some here in the U.S., but it's not quite as, like, you don't hear that terminology all the time.
So what is that? You know,
A park run is basically like a low-key fun run that happens in a park.
in a park. People get together.
Yeah.
Set time every week or certain days, and people do that. Yeah, we've got some.
And they set up like a clock, and they do a time, and
oh, cool.
It's just a fun, kind of low-key.
We see that here. I mean, we've got some groups like that who will do that and kind of informally, and
Absolutely.
That's neat.
So you see things like that, and then like you'll see people in like the Middle East running and writing about the same things that we write about. Like, I tried to go out, it was like 1,000,000 degrees, and so I had to hydrate, and I had a cramp, and blah, blah, blah. And they do the same things. They go to 5Ks, they go to, marathons, they're training for the London Marathon or the Tokyo Marathon, but they're...
Yeah.
It's just a culture that it's global. Man.
It is a global culture. It's intergalactic, I think.
It is. I bet if you went to Pluto,
Yeah, right.
and you hung out with some of the Plutonians, they'd be doing the same stuff,
Right. I bet you if you went up to the International Space Station, you're going to have some folks going on, like running on a treadmill, right?
Right,
so
to
I'm
stay
sure
fit.
There's some runners up there to stay fit, right? I mean, that would be to stay fit, keep,
The treadmill's on the ceiling, though.
Yes.
I think that's how it works.
That's wild.
Nuts. But yeah, culture, man. It's such a big, broad topic.
It really, truly is. We could spend like days talking about this. We're not going to.
Yeah, because we kind of got to wrap it up.
We do have to wrap it up. What about like a running cult? I mean, that's different.
Running cult.
Yeah.
That would be.
I bet you they exist. We're gonna do a little research, folks. Maybe we'll have a podcast about running cults.
Yeah, you'd
we can
have
just talk
to
about cults.
find an enigmatic leader.
Okay.
And yeah, I wonder how that would be.
I bet you
A
they're out
running
there.
cult.
I bet you if it's just it's just a couple clicks away. I'm sure.
I bet
You get all kinds of
some. I bet
information.
some people who are like on the outside looking in on the running culture.
Yeah.
Because cult is the first part of culture.
Yes.
Right?
Isn't that wild?
It is. I think it means like cultivate, but whatever. So cult, sure. But I bet people who are on the outside looking in, who maybe aren't into running, look at it like a cult.
Like it could be a cult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a very friendly and welcoming cult.
Yes.
But aren't all cults? Don't they want to get more people in?
I guess so. I don't know. This is a deep topic.
Yeah, we should maybe stop.
But that's okay. I mean, I really think that it's definitely food for thought. Like maybe looking into different cults. Maybe we could have a podcast about different types of running cults throughout the world.
Maybe.
And just talk about it. It'd be kind of interesting. Anyway,
It would be.
I digress.
Yeah, we should.
I digress.
We gotta get to work here.
We do have to get to work.
Um,
Down to business.
But that was a fun topic.
Yes.
Culture, man. It's so interesting. I don't know exactly what we're gonna talk about next week. Maybe we'll have a guest.
No one ever does.
Maybe we won't.
No one ever does. But it's always good.
It is always good.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So, thanks for listening.
Thank you, folks.
And tune in next week and hear us talk about who knows what.
It's going to involve running, I'll tell you that right now. In the meantime, keep running, folks. This is good for you.